Mr. Hugeland and the Agawam Band, thank you very much. Good morning, Agawam. On behalf of the faculty administration of Agawam High School, Mayor William Sapelli, Superintendent Sheila Hoffman, district administrators, as well as the Agawam School Committee and City Council, I welcome parents, grandparents, family, friends, and most importantly, our class of 2023 to the Agawam High School commencement exercises. I am pleased to welcome the dignitaries that we have with us today. Mr. Mayor William Sapelli, Chairman of the School Committee, AHS Class of 1972. Shelley Reed, Vice Chairwoman, member of the School Committee, AHS Class of 1978. A.J. Christopher, School Committee, AHS Class of 1993. Don DiMatteo, School Committee. Michael Perry, School Committee, AHS Class 1995. Ms. Carrie O'Connor, AHS Class of 1995, School Committee, U.S. Navy veteran and proud mom today. Wendy Rua, School Committee, Class of 1990. We have members of our City Council here with us today. Mr. Christopher Johnson, AHS Class 1979. Cecilia Calabrese, Vice President of the City Council. Council Member George Bitsis. Thomas Hendrickson, City Council, Class of 2017. He's the youngest. Dino Mercadante, City Council. Anthony Russo, AHS Class of 1996. Gerald Smith, City Council. Anthony Safridi, AHS Class of 1990, City Council. We are pleased to have a very supportive district administration here today. Ms. Sheila Hoffman, Superintendent, Agawam High, Class of 1992. Mrs. Cheryl Salameo, our Assistant Superintendent of Curriculum, Instruction, and Human Resources. Our School Business Administrator, Robert Klickstein. Assistant Principals, Sue Fair, Tim Kareka, and Chad Joyle. They are the best. Anthony Fazio, Director of Special Services. Dave Stratton, Director of Athletics, Phys Ed, and Student Activities, AHS Class 1983. Former AHS Principal, Tom Schnepp. Stephanie Harris, Principal of Robinson Park School. I'd like to call special attention to Mrs. Susan Fair, Mr. Tony Fazio, Mr. Dave Stratton, and Mr. Thomas Schnepp. Ms. Fair, Mr. Stratton, and Mr. Schnepp are all retiring this year. Mr. Fazio is leaving us after a long stint with the Agawam Public Schools. Between them, they have served Agawam students for a total of 87 years. All are first class, hardworking, and dedicated to the school community. They have given their heart and soul, and we ask them to stand to be recognized or just wave because you're already standing. Our class advisors have stepped in this year and done an amazing job. I'd like to have stand Mrs. Hunter and Mrs. Delabella, please. They did not start with your students. They stepped in this year and provided them with the experiences they deserve. They have worked hard and have always made sure that every event has been first class. Thank you very much. Like everything else this year, planning for graduation has its ups and downs. What looked like a beautifully sunny day on Monday turned into a lot of nervous fingernail biting last evening as the rain pelted down on my skylights. The planning meetings, the communication to families has all been with the best interest of giving us a first-class event today. But it's never done alone. Support from our school committee, our central office, public works employees, our school custodians, our office staff, our teachers have done the best they could to provide us with a beautiful atmosphere today. I'm so appreciative of their all-in philosophy because it allows us to share this commencement in a very special way. Any occasion comes with the knowledge that not all of our loved ones are here with us today. At this time, I would ask everyone to join me in a moment of silence to remember of all those that we loved and lost. I am pleased to recognize two members of the class of 2023 who will enter the military, and they're going to join us in leading the Pledge of Allegiance. Mr. Murphy Estes and Rocco Persico, please come to the stage. Right there.
One, two, three. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
While Rocco and Murphy make their way back to their seats, I ask the senior members of the band and chorus to please join for the Star-Spangled Banner. And I'd also be remiss to say, Murphy and Rocco, let me join or lead everybody in saying first, thank you for your service to our country. It is now my honor to introduce the Mayor of Agawam, Mr. William Sapelli, for his address.
I'll give the students a minute to get back to their seats. Good morning, parents, grandparents, family members, teachers, administrators, elected officials, and our esteemed class of 2023. A couple months ago, I received a text from a friend of mine who was a former teacher at Granger School, Fred Montesi, and it was a story about a teacher and a student. And it was something that really touched me, and I put it in the back of my mind. And then a couple of weeks ago, I thought this might be something that I could present at graduation because I thought it had some life lessons in it. So I'm going to read this to you and make a few comments. As she stood in front of her fifth grade class on the very first day of school, she told the children an untruth. Like most teachers, she looked at her students and said that she loved them all the same. However, that was impossible because there in the front row, slumped in his seat, was a little boy named Freddie Stoddard. Mrs. Thompson had watched Teddy the year before and noticed that he did not play well with the other children, that his clothes were messy, and that he constantly needed a bath. In addition, Teddy could be unpleasant. It got to the point where Mrs. Thompson would actually take delight in marking his papers with a broad red pen, making bold X's, and then putting a big F at the top of his papers. At the school where Mrs. Thompson taught, she was required to review each child's past records, and she put Teddy's off until last. However, when she reviewed his file, she was in for a big surprise. Teddy's first grade teacher wrote, "Teddy's a delight and a bright child with a ready laugh. He does his work neatly and has good manners. He is a joy to be around." His second grade teacher wrote, "Teddy is an excellent student, well liked by his classmates, but he is troubled because his mother has a terminal illness, and life at home must be a struggle." His third grade teacher wrote, "His mother's death has been hard on him. He tries to do his best, but his father doesn't show much interest, and his home life will soon affect him if some steps are not taken." Teddy's fourth grade teacher wrote, "Teddy is withdrawn, doesn't show much interest in school, he doesn't have many friends, and he sometimes sleeps in class." By now, Mrs. Thompson realized the problem, and she was ashamed of herself. She felt even worse when her students brought her Christmas presents wrapped in beautiful ribbons and bright paper, except for Teddy's. His present was clumsily wrapped in heavy brown paper that he got from the grocery bag. Mrs. Thompson took pains to open it in the middle of the other presents. Some of the children started to laugh when she found a rhinestone bracelet with some of the stones missing and a bottle that was 1/4 full of perfume. But she stifled the children's laughter when she exclaimed how pretty the bracelet was, putting it on and dabbing some of the perfume on her wrist. Teddy Stoddard stayed after school that day just long enough to say, "Mrs. Thompson, today you smell just like my mom." After the children left, she cried. On that very day, she quit teaching reading, writing, and arithmetic. Instead, she began to teach children. Mrs. Thompson paid particular attention to Teddy. As she worked with him, his mind seemed to come alive. The more she encouraged him, the faster he responded. By the end of the year, Teddy became one of the smartest children in the class, and despite her lie that she would love all the children the same, Teddy was her teacher's pet. A year later, she found a note under her door from Teddy telling her that she was still the best teacher he had ever had in his whole life. 6 years went by before she got another note from Teddy. He then wrote that he had finished high school, third in his class, and she was still the best teacher he had ever had in life. 4 years after that, she got another letter saying that while things had been tough at times, had stayed in school, had stuck with it, and would soon graduate from college with the highest of honors. He assured Mrs. Thompson that she was still the best and favorite teacher he had ever had in his whole life. Then 4 more years passed, and yet another letter came. This time, he explained that after he got his bachelor's degree, he decided to go a little further. The letter explained that she was still the best and favorite teacher he had ever had. But now his name was a little longer. The letter was signed Theodore F. Stoddard, M.D. The story doesn't end there. You see, there was yet one more letter that spring. Teddy said he had met a girl and was going to be married. He explained that his father had died a couple of years ago, and he was wondering if Mrs. Thompson might agree to sit at the wedding in the place that was usually reserved for the mother of the groom. Of course, Mrs. Thompson did. And guess what? She wore that bracelet, the one with the several rhinestones missing. Moreover, she made sure she was wearing the perfume that Teddy remembered his mother wearing on that last Christmas together. They hugged each other, and Dr. Stoddard whispered in Mrs. Thompson's ear, "Thank you, Mrs. Thompson, for believing in me. Thank you for so much for me feel important and showing me that I could make a difference." Mrs. Thompson, with tears in her eyes, whispered back. She said, "Teddy, you have it all wrong. You were the one who taught me that I could make a difference. I didn't know how much to teach until I met you." For those of you who aren't aware of this story, Teddy Stoddard is the doctor at Iowa Methodist Hospital in Des Moines, and he has the Stoddard Cancer Wing named in his honor. I thought, as you can tell, there are several messages in that story. Probably the most important one is, don't judge someone until you find out what their background is. If they're behaving different than most people, there's probably a good reason for that. You don't know what their background is. You don't know what their life experiences have been. So give them a break. Don't rush to judgment. Another important message I think that we can take away from that is that life isn't always easy. You're young, 17, 18 years old. You have a lot left ahead of you. And there's going to be a rough road. Life isn't all what it could be. There's some difficult, challenging people out there. And there's going to be some times where you're going to be down and out. And hopefully you'll have a Mrs. Thompson. Could be in the form of a teacher, as was the case with Teddy. Could be a parent, a friend, a coworker. They can help you through those times. But what you need to do is you need to persevere. You need to be tough. You need to be that person that doesn't feel sorry for yourself, that picks yourself up by the bootstraps, because you are going to get knocked down. You're going to get knocked down several times. It's not the number of times you get knocked down that's important. It's the number of times you pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and get back in the game. So I say to you, go out there, make a difference, be strong, be a survivor, don't be a victim, overcome all those challenges. I know you can do it. You're a great class. So congratulations. Thanks for listening to me this morning. I wish you all the best. God bless each and every one of you. Thank you.
It is now my pleasure to introduce Ms. Sheila Hoffman. Ms. Hoffman has served as superintendent of schools since 2020, and again is a member of the class of 1992.
Good morning, and welcome to our elected officials, teachers, administrators, parents, grandparents, friends, and class of 2023. I have a confession to make. I am often apprehensive about writing speeches. Am I going to be boring, sound cliche, or say the same thing someone else has? My speech for this year was written, for the most part, earlier this week, and I was feeling pretty good about it until Mr. Correcca said almost the same exact thing Thursday at awards night. Myself, Mrs. Salameo, Mr. Correcca, and Mr. Blaine all said the same thing. No one was probably listening or paying attention to Mr. Correcca on Thursday night, and surely no one is going to be paying attention to your speech at graduation. I'm sure the latter is correct, but I still felt the need to rewrite my speech last night. Oh, and for the record, mine was originally about using ChatGPT 2, and look where that got me, saying the same thing as someone else. Make a note of that, graduates. So last night I thought maybe I could go a little deeper into the relax the technology theme, and enjoy the experiences like Mr. Koreka talked about. But then I remembered what I've been hearing from your teachers and principals for the past few years. This class rocks. You get it, and you are amazing individuals. So I know a lot of you are taking your AirPods out to converse with your friends and families. I know you are living in the moment and truly experiencing your senior year activities. So back to square one. What could I possibly say that would be motivational or inspirational? I think Grace, your class vice president, said it best Thursday night, be unique. I'm going to take that one step further and say, be bold. Not bold as in crazy or reckless, but stand out, make a difference. So that, Agawam High School class of 2023, is my message to you today. Be bold. Don't settle for essays on ChatGPT so that yours is most likely similar to everybody else's. Don't sit quietly when you have an opinion about a topic. Take the time to question and to engage. Be sure to think for yourself. Are you thinking, is that really her speech? The answer is yes. Sometimes the journeys are just as important as the outcomes, and often far more valuable. Congratulations.
It is now my pleasure to invite Lynn Jang to the podium for the last time as she addresses her class. Lynn will be attending the University of Massachusetts Commonwealth Honors College in the fall and will study biomedical engineering.
Hello. What beautiful weather we're having. Okay. Good morning, everyone. I hope you're all well on this lovely Saturday, and I hope you're just as excited as I am for today. It is with great pride and honor that I stand before you to commence today's celebration. But first, to start things off, it is my civic duty to continue 2021 salutatorian Dave Dagenet's tradition of taking a selfie with the graduating class as per his kind request. So please, graduates, direct your attention to the small rectangle in my hand and smile. All of you. That was so cute. Okay. In complete honesty, although a seemingly simple task, this was quite difficult for me to write. Knowing I have to say goodbye and putting my feelings to words is bittersweet. This signifies an end to our high school career. I thought that with the flip of the tassel, it's all over, and that's quite a lot to take in. Still, rather than procrastinating this even longer than allowed, I decided to make the speech a compilation of some of the lessons learned throughout the years in order to reflect, remember, and hopefully grow together through these emotional times. Today is special not only because an incredible graduating class of bright, eager minds is leaving the school, but more specifically because the 101st group is graduating. I know it sure seems like it's been a century since we even started this year, but what better group than this one for a day known for great endings and equally important new beginnings? Now, not only do I commence this group send-off, but I also commend them for making it this far. I know personally it wasn't the easiest. Having good time management and making sacrifices in order to be successful is hard, but that doesn't mean that taking time to have fun is regression or far from productivity. It is my hope that you all find the balance between work and relaxation to successfully carry you through these next years. In short, never get in your own way. We continue to fight through the real tragedies of the COVID-19 pandemic and violence against marginalized group awareness movements, and therefore we continue to see the harsh realities of an ever-changing world. Tomorrow cannot be anticipated, and I know that no one could have anticipated the nightmarishly awkward experiences of Google Meet breakout rooms. Please leave here with an open mind and heart as you take on new experiences in new environments, focusing on inclusivity and spreading love, prioritizing mental health for yourself and those around you. Pushing yourself towards your goals is encouraged, yes, but never lose sight of the importance of being kind to yourself either. You truly are your biggest competitor. We praise the students for growth and strength, but it is only right that we thank those who nurtured those great qualities. Thank you to the loved ones who sat by our sides when we needed it the most, and thank you to staff and faculty who worked hard to make experiences unforgettable during our time here, especially the cafeteria worker guy that always gave out extra sweet potato fries. Thank you the most. I'm sure we're all incredibly independent people, and whether we'd like to admit it or not, the collective support along the way helped in ways indescribable with words. We should always remember that success is not a straight line. It has become painfully clear that it isn't your GPA, class rank, or 11th grade AP Physics Term 3 letter grade that defines you as a student or a person. What does, however, is your persistence to move towards your goals through the setbacks life inevitably throws at you and will continue to. At the end of the day, your presence and diploma prove that you have what it takes to follow through and ultimately be the change you want to see in this world. No matter where life takes you, remember that you can make a difference and will if you simply apply yourself to do so. If there's anything we should take away from these past few years, it's that this group is the most equipped to adapt to life's unexpected surprises, proving the possibility to persevere through adversity, and we are a force to be reckoned with. I am the most excited to see what powerful people you continue to grow to be. Lastly, stay true to yourself and your values. I can only do so much with a few minutes on a podium. My future, just like yours, is filled with uncertainties. I can't write your future for you, let alone my own. Together, we must embrace tomorrow's uncertainties as opportunities and lead through this ever-evolving world together. And with this, I wish you all the best. May your futures be filled with the success you know deep down that you can and will achieve. I hope to see you at reunion eventually, maybe. We're all in this together. Congratulations to the Catalysts of Change, Agawam High School class of 2023 graduates. It's been the realest, and if any of you see her, please tell Miss Bonavita to please follow me back on Instagram. Thank you. Goodbye.
You know someone's prepared and polished when they can record their own graduation speech when they're reading it off the page at the same time. Great job, Lynn. At this time, all chorus members of the graduating class, please join the Honors Concert Choir for your final performance at Agawam High School. The choir will perform Shine the Light. Mr. Foreman, members of the chorus, and especially those leaving us today, awesome performance. It is my honor and privilege to welcome to the stage to my right the salutatorian of the class of 2023, Nolan Chamberlain. Nolan will be attending Western New England University in the fall and will study psychology. I ask his parents, Susan and Glenn, to join him to present him with the salutatorian medal. Yeah, I'd probably take it off. Thanks. We'll do that after. We'll do it after. They're still kids at heart.
Nice and awkward. Thank you. Fellow graduates, friends, family, teachers, administrators, and esteemed guests, I would like to welcome you all to the graduation of Agawam High School's class of 2023. It is my honor to address you today as a salutatorian of this amazing graduating class. And I would like to begin by thanking my parents, my brothers, Ian and Jack, because without you, I know I would not be standing here today. You have been such incredible role models, and I'm so proud to be able to call you my family. So thank you. Also, Ian and Jack, this is the last time I'll ever say anything nice about either of you in public. To my fellow classmates, it's been a difficult journey to get to this point. Hard work, countless assignments, tests, quizzes, cramming for AP exams, projects, essays, lab reports, lessons, assemblies, homework, and more homework. And that about sums up the last 13 years of navigating through the Agawam public school system. And that time comes to an end here today. When they gave us our school emails back in middle school, and they started with the number 23, we all asked, why 23? And they explained that that was our year of graduation from high school. And when they said this, we all scoffed at how distant the thought of graduating from high school was. I mean, surely we were not going to make it to 2023. But here we are today. The world's a different place today than it was then, and we have grown into individuals that our fifth grade selves would hardly even recognize. I doubt that I'll be able to stand in front of you today without failure and process. In golf, I know you're all shocked to hear me talking about golf. They have what's called the 3-foot circle. And that's the idea that if you're going to hit a long putt, you want it to end up within 3 feet of the hole. Give yourself a short, hopefully makeable putt, walk off the green, go to the next hole. You're probably not going to make the long putt more than 5% of the time anyways. You're going to fail 95% of the time, so make an easy 2-putt. Throughout my time in golf, I've been told, aim for the circle. If you're farther than 30 feet away, the circle will do. I cannot think of a worse mindset to approach anything in life with. Goals are meant to be hard. We don't shoot for things that are easy. We don't strive to achieve the average. We strive to achieve exceptional performance. Aiming to miss is a guarantee that we will miss. Thinking about missing our target before we even start is a recipe for disaster. And yet many approach life seeking to avoid the pain of disappointment at the expense of potential success. It is a process of striving for goals that is so much more important than the goal itself. It's why I stand in front of you today. Achievement is not the accolade at the finish line, but the struggle along the way to find growth. And I'm not as proud to be salutatorian as I am of the person I've become throughout that process. I am proud of the growth that has come with the struggle of these last 4 years, and that is the greatest lesson I will take away from my time here, and the lesson I implore all of you to take away as well. Growth is failure, and striving for your best, allowing yourself to fail, enables growth. It is the failure you have experienced that makes you so much different than your 5th grade self. The failure that has allowed you to grow into the person sitting in that chair today. So next time you're looking at a long lag putt, forget the circle and aim for the hole. You'll make a hell of a lot more putts that way. Thank you.
At this time, graduating members of the Agawam High School combined bands, please join for your final performance as students at Agawam High School. Today they will perform Ruckus. Thank you, Mr. Houston, Mr. Huglin, and our combined bands. Thank you to our seniors who've played their final performance. It is now my honor and privilege to welcome to the podium the valedictorian of the class of 2023, Sierra Macchio. Sierra will be attending the Norwalk Conservatory of the Arts in the fall. I welcome her parents, Jennifer and Stephen, to the stage to present her with her valedictorian medal.
All right. Good morning, parents, friends, teachers, mentors, administrators, and of course, the graduating class of 2023. Somehow, over these last few years, we have transitioned from the comfortable space provided by Symphony Hall to Agawam High School's very own turf field. Yep. As I take some time out of your Saturday morning to acknowledge our very own graduating class, I would have suggested you roll up your sleeves because it was supposed to be nice out today, but let's put these polyester robes to good use and use it to keep some heat in. Most valedictorians may start by telling you about the Ivy League school that they will be attending this upcoming fall. Personally, I've chosen to veer away from that normalized path. For the next 2 years, I will be attending the Norwalk Conservatory of the Arts for Musical Theater Dance. That's where I will get my associate's degree and begin auditioning for Broadway. Going to Norwalk for dance and pushing my education aside for a later time is probably one of the hardest decisions that I've ever had to make. I have always put school first, always thought that college was the only option. Although AHS has taught me that as we move on to the real world, it is okay to put ourselves first. It is okay to dwell in our passions. There is room for both school and whatever we desire. You shouldn't think otherwise. I bring up my future not to talk about myself, but to highlight the final step of our high school career and the options that we have now. My fellow graduates, today is the last time that we are all together on the same path that was introduced to us in kindergarten. The same one that gave us structure, a place to explore our passions, and opened doors to new opportunities. This path made us into the students we are today. However, tomorrow we get to break off of this path and design our own futures. Tomorrow, we get to put everything we have learned to the test. Tomorrow, we pave the path that makes us into adults. We are lucky to be a part of a school with such a variety of students with diverse backgrounds, interests, and beliefs. We are each unique, with different tracks ahead of us. We now get to go off to college or university, one of the branches of the military like Murphy or Rocco, into a trade school, or anything else that fulfills our hopes for the future. We finally get to be people that we want to be. Ralph Waldo Emerson once said, "Do not go where the path may lead. Go instead where there is no path and leave a trail." That is what we must do. I hope we all find the way to our true selves, even if it means we leave behind the paths that others have paved for us, including the one that AHS has given us. Leave a trail and prove to everyone around you that the only person who can define your future is yourself. I wouldn't be able to walk off of the stage without giving a final shout out to the people that have made everything possible for me. My family has kept me on my toes for these last 18 years, never allowing me to settle in comfort and stick with the ordinary. Choosing the easy path was never an option. I've also had my 3 brothers who have made quite the tough journey and a big thing to live up to. So thank you, Joe, Zach, and Ty. My dad has also told me for the longest time, don't suck. It's hard not to ignore that advice. Thank you to all of my teachers that have transformed me into a human out of a student. Thank you to Mr. Blaine for giving us new opportunities and making the most out of these last 2 years. Kind of unfair that you couldn't at least give us 3 years with you. Class of 2023, my last thanks go out to you. For your perseverance, your humor, and your ambition that has only grown to its peak over these last 13 years. There is no class that could even begin to compare to us. There's no class that I couldn't be more proud to be a part of. Tomorrow we get to set out on our own paths that I can only wish will reconnect us in the future. And always remember, don't suck. Thank you.
I'm now proud to give my farewell address. Class of 2023, we celebrate the culmination of your 4 years at Agawam High School, and for many of you, 13 years in the Agawam Public Schools. Whether you've been here the entire time or joined us along the way, all of you have earned the right to call yourself proud alums and will forever be a part of the Agawam family. I must say, I've always come away impressed with your representation of our school, but you've never looked better than you do today. Every graduation speech is bittersweet. The struggle to put into words a class's impact on a school is a responsibility that I do not take lightly. 2 years ago, I entered AHS with little knowledge of the student body, traditions, or important events that make our high school close-knit and community-driven. Coming out of the pandemic, this class wanted to restore the events that make our school special, and we even started some new ones along the way. The impact you have had on our school set the tone for future classes to try and live up to. For 2 years, I and the staff have had a pleasure of a front row seat and have been witness to your journey of increased school spirit, academic, personal growth, and a desire to make our school the best it can possibly be. With so many thoughts running through my head while trying to find the exact perfect word to say, all I can muster up is, thank you. Thank you for being exactly what our school needed coming out of the pandemic. Thank you for pushing us to restore the school activities that matter. Thank you for accepting a different way, and thank you for a lifetime of memories that I will always draw on during a difficult day. As a high school educator for more than 25 years, each graduating class has meant a little something different. This class is special and unforgettable for so many reasons. I could go on, but the best way to describe you is genuine, caring, invested, and kind. And as Miss Waters told me the other day, and she was exactly right, it's just tough to see you leave. While putting these words together over the past few weeks, I've had the opportunity to do something you may not have. I've had time to reflect. With so many end-of-year events, you may not have had the opportunity to take time and look back on your 4 years. 4 years of growth, 4 years of making lifelong friends, and 4 years of making Agawam High School great. Along your journey, there have been incredible highs and lows. There have been tears of joy, tears of sadness, and tears of frustration. There have been moments when you've been challenged. There may have been more than one time when you have given up. As you have persevered through all of these times, you have developed the grit that will serve you well in the future. I urge you to find a quiet moment, perhaps even now, to reflect on your 4 years and know that all of you brought something special, something only you are capable of, to Agawam High School. As an educator, I've always believed that every single person within the Agawam Public Schools serves you for one reason: to make a difference in your life. What always happens is that you, the students, end up making a difference in ours. For me and most of our staff, this could not be more true. I would like to recognize the faculty members of all 7 Agawam schools that have played such a vital role in your personal growth, many of whom marched in with you today. The administration and students of Agawam are lucky to work with such dedicated professionals. Please join me in a round of applause for all of the Agawam teachers that have served you over 13 years. Today, we graduate 240 members of this class. Many of you are moving on to higher education, some to the military, and others into the workforce. Whether you're staying close to home or traveling across the globe, I know that you will be able to take what you've learned at Agawam High School into a world that requires you to be the difference makers. The time to sit on the sidelines is now over. We need you, and we need you now. As you know, in every correspondence, I offer a quote. It is designed to make you think, reflect, and hopefully provide perspective and motivation. Today, I provide you with a quote for the last time. It happens to be my favorite, and one that guides my personal and professional life, and I gladly share it with you. Be fearless in the pursuit of what sets your soul on fire. If you are fearless, passionate, and determined in what sets your soul on fire, you will never feel like you have to choose a career, but rather your career will choose you. As you take time to reflect today, remind yourself you did not get here alone. Along the way, parents, family members, guardians, friends, and teachers, we've been there for you. We've seen you at your best, and sometimes you're not so best. Be sure to seek those people out with a well-deserved thank you, because you could not have reached this milestone on your own. Class of 2023, your journey with the Agawam Public Schools is concluded. I wish you the best in whatever path you take, and I trust that you know that you will always be able to call this school your home. Congratulations. Now it's time to graduate these kids. Let's get it going. This time, I would like to bring Superintendent Hoffman back to the podium to confer the diplomas for the class of 2023. You're going to read.
By the authority vested to me by the Agawam School Committee and the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, I confer these diplomas and certificates to the class of 2023 from Agawam High School.
Could I have our marshals that have been great today, Jordan and Nick, to get into their spots?
Lin Suk Jang. Gabrielle Angelina Zolo.
I ask the graduates to rise, and I again invite Superintendent Hoffman to conclude this ceremony. Yeah, my marshals can rise too because you're going to lead them out in just a sec. All right, one last thing.
Graduates, can you please move your tassels from the right to left? Congratulations.
Go. Families, we welcome you behind the stage for pictures. Your kids are awesome. Congratulations, class of 2023. This ceremony is officially over.